What's up, guys? It's the Essential John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
And you guys are tuned into Caught
In Conversation.
Shaka Laka Laka. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 134, Where's the Footage? As always, I am your host, the Essential John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
And as we record this intro and outro, we're actually using the portable mics. When we did the sound check, everything was fine. As we record this, the levels are fine. So hopefully it's not too much different from the actual conversation. But as you'll see from the thumbnail and the description and everything else, today we are talking to the one and only The Grace, James Marshall. I have a slight sinus infection right now. My throat is really swollen, so my voice is a little bit hoarse. But yeah, this was a very fun conversation that, as you'll hear in this conversation, we were actually worried, Nova, that we weren't going to get anything out of this, but we actually got quite a lot out of this because I still say, damn you, DPC. But no, it was really great conversation, great catching up with Marshall. I've known him for about 6 or 7 years, give or take. We've only actually met in person one time, but we've talked on social media pretty much ever since and share the memes and just nerd out with random stuff, as you'll hear in the tail end of this conversation when we just started ranting about Dragon Ball because it's the CIC pod and that's what we do here, Nova. But Nova, you have the song, you have the match of the week. If you want to just quickly get straight into that and just take it away. I don't actually have the soundboard today, so I can't do the when you go in to do the initial.
You'll have to do it yourself.
But yeah, that's okay. I copy and pasted the transition sound, but I forgot about the other one. Professional. But Nova, if you'd like to give us the song match of the week, we'll explain why, and then straight into the announcements, because we got a fair amount of plugs to do in the outro. So tell us the song and match of the week. Let's get into it.
Alrighty. So your song of the week for episode 134 was What You've Sown by Sacred, which is James Marshall's band. Also, the match of the week for episode 134 is Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet at NXT Northern American Championship next NXT TakeOver New Orleans 2018.
Yes, and obviously you kind of just covered it there as you were saying it. That is James Marshall's band. That's why we picked that song.
Yes.
This song specifically is actually an official theme song, Nova, for Adrenaline Pro Wrestling.
Yes, it is.
So it sounds like James Marshall's greased some palms there, if you're asking me, but that's neither here nor there. And this match, he did mention in this conversation, and this is my bad, I forgot to put it in the notes, but that actually was a ladder match on top of that, Nova. Ladder match for the first ever North American champion, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, and it's a 6-year-old match, Adam Cole won that match. And this match, Nova, Dave Meltzer gave 5 stars. Now, I can go on all the rants about Kurt Angle and everything else, but it's very rare that WWE matches get 5 stars from Dave Meltzer in general, and this was an NXT match that got 5 stars. And honestly, I don't think I've actually shown you the full match. I think I've shown you highlights, but you know, there's a lot of problematic people in this match, about 2 or 3 of them, but this is a banger of a matchup regardless, and a fantastic choice by James Marshall as one of his favorite matches. But Nova, I'm going to try and do my best here to replicate the sound, but you've got the notes in front of you. Let's just get straight into it. Let's introduce this man so we can time travel to the outro so these guys can actually hear this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from Melbourne, Victoria, make sure to subscribe to his OnlyFans. He is The Grace, James Marshall!
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with James Marshall representing Conflict Axiom, amongst other things. How are you doing tonight, my good sir?
Very warm.
Very warm.
The weather is weather is fantastic here at the moment, but it's like I'm just not used to it yet. And I've had to turn my fan off because otherwise all you're going to hear is so I'm roasting for the bit here. You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I really do. The weather here has been so weird. It's kind of similar to Melbourne weather most of the time, but it was like pissing down rain. Was it yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
And then today I'm just like, I'm walking and I did 7K for some fucking reason. I don't know. And like
Good job, I saw that.
The whole time I'm just like, so hot.
Yeah, checks out. That does sound like Melbourne.
But yeah, well, we get people from Canberra going, oh, it's so cold here, and like Wagga's like only 2.5 hours away, yet somehow our weather's closer to Melbourne when it's 4.5 hours away. But go figure.
Yeah, amazing.
But as I said to you off air, you're probably going to repeat some things because this actual like list of notes that I had written was written about 12 months ago, and then someone, DPC, come in and fucking did a 2-part interview and just stole my thunder. Love you lots, Daniel.
I think that ended up being a 3-part episode or something. So like, God, I hope you're prepared for the intro dump. My gosh.
No, both myself, like I've listened to all of them. Nova's only listened to bits and pieces, but what she had listened to, she said she really enjoyed as well. Because I just had it on YouTube. I had it on YouTube on the background while I was just doing like editing and whatever stuff. And
for what it's worth, I don't even remember what I said. So like, this is like all new. It could be all new territory for all we know.
Well, there you go. But yeah, some of the questions will.
In fact, I'm going to so contradict myself. I just know I'm going to contradict myself. Like I'll say something now that I said the opposite in the past, and because that's exactly just what I do.
But see, I'm ADHD as fuck, and I'm the exact same. Today, I might love chocolate ice cream. Tomorrow, I'll tell you chocolate ice cream is trash, and vanilla is the best because it's more, expendable. But whatever.
Speaking of ice cream, you know what's really good? Mint chocolate ice cream. Fuck EVO.
I love EVO to bits.
That's literally my
mint
favorite.
Cookies and cream is
Yes.
fucking amazing, and I will. That's going to be the reason for me coming out of medical retirement. I'm going to like beat EVO down in the car park and leave him bloody because he made fun of me.
I'm just going to do that anyway, because as I tell EVO every time I see him, he's a piece of shit. I say that with love, of course.
It's the first official question we always ask here, James, is it's a pretty simple question, and it's one that you definitely would have answered, but it's a great way to break the ice for first time guests, and it's just very simple. What was your earliest wrestling memory?
Fuck. Like, as in me seeing wrestling for the first time, or like Aussie wrestling, or what are we talking?
When did you see professional wrestling?
Some of my earliest memories are like, I think I was like at a friend's house, and I think there was in my head I've got like The Rock versus Mankind, just on an episode of Raw or something.
Yes.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you what the match was. Like the image I've got in my head of it is so different to what I know of what wrestling actually is. So it could have been anything, but that was the first time I was ever exposed to it. Didn't think much of it. I didn't know what the fuck I was watching. I remember specifically The Rock and Mankind, Attitude Era. But the first time I really started watching was around 2005. John Cena had just come to Raw. And yeah, rest is history, I guess.
See, I'm super biased, I guess, and it's probably just because it was more my era. Because like I've said it on many episodes, because obviously it's my show and people hear me waffle all the time. But I did watch Semi during the Attitude Era, and I loved Taker and Kane and Austin and all them. But that kind of like 02 to like 06, even borderline 07 era, like that version of the Ruthless Aggression era, to me, that's the best era of wrestling.
I agree 100%. Like I may have started watching in 05, but because of what was available to me at the time, like obviously I started watching when I got Foxtel, and that was obviously only once a week. But then I'm like, I want to watch it all the time, so I went and rented DVDs and stuff, and that was all the like the 2003, 2004 pay-per-views and stuff. And then I started finding like the early 2000s, like 2000, 2001 on LimeWire. And that's where I was able to watch like Kane and Taker and all that in Austin and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I guess essentially I started 2005, but then I went back.
See,
that's my favorite era. That's my favorite era.
See, I contradict myself slightly because to me that's the best era, but my favorite era is actually the golden era, which obviously I went back and watched well after the fact. But it was from that same thing of let me just back in the day when Kmart had the monopoly in Australia of the WWE DVDs and Insanity, and you'd get your pocket money for the week, and Nan'd be like, what are you going to spend it on? And I'd be like, I don't know, whatever's the first wrestling DVD that I pick up is coming home with me. I don't care what it is. And they just accumulated like all this shit and like all the compilations that they released in like mid-2000s of like the 90s stuff and even the 80s stuff. Like I've got like the best of Saturday Night's Main Event. It's like, there's nothing spectacular. But just going back and seeing all the promos, brother, it's like, dude, like that is like, I wish I was in that era. Probably would have been coked out of my mind. And
me too. I feel like I definitely came into the wrong era. Like, because I'm as old school as they come. Oh, at least I think so. Anyway, I'm not made for all the new shit these days.
See, I had this conversation just today. I don't know when this is coming out, but just today as I record this, I was talking to legendary Aussie manager Johnny the Joker. And he actually, he loves, with what he does, he prefers, the storytelling and the promos and stuff. But in terms of actual wrestling, he prefers watching more of the high-flying stuff and et cetera, which, look, I'm not going to shit on that. I love all of wrestling. But this day and age of wrestling, I'm just like, take me back to the old days. I'm fat. I can't do a double corkscrew.
Well, I think that's where it comes from for me. Like, it's a bit of a petty sort of thing. But like, I grew up loving like the Hardy Boys and stuff, and when I was younger, maybe I could have done stuff like that. But now I look at it, I'm like, if I try to do something as simple as a swanton bomb, I'm gonna break my neck. I'm not Blake Curtis, unfortunately.
You know what though? We did mention him before. EVO does have a pretty nice swanton bomb, and Miss Fortune has an amazing.
He does. EVO is such a piece of shit, but damn, he's good. Same with Miss Fortune. Like the shit she can do is unreal.
But before we get too ahead of ourselves and just put everyone else over but yourself, James, when from that point did you then discover Australian professional wrestling?
Oh boy, this is a story very relevant to the shirt I'm wearing right now. Which total mistake, my God. I didn't mean to be a mark today. I was just happened to be wearing it.
For the people listening to this, he's wearing a Conflict Axiom T-shirt, the team that he represents.
Yes. I'm actually so glad that means no one can see me because I don't look very good right now. I didn't shave. I need a haircut, all this sort of stuff. So anyway, getting sidetracked. So when I was about... Actually, just to confirm, the question was how I got into Aussie wrestling, yeah?
Yeah, when was the first time you saw Australian professional wrestling?
Yeah, okay. So it would have been around, probably 2005, 2006, something like that. I was walking down the street with Blake Curtis, because we've been mates for fucking, how old am I? Over 20 years. And we were just walking past a fish and chip shop, and there was a PCW poster there. And on it, you've got bloody Tricky D, Daniel Swagger, and there's this guy on there named Jarrett Craven, who we now know is Chris Law. He had long hair, he was wearing eye makeup, and he was wearing fishnet stuff on his hands, and it looked like Jeff Hardy. And being the 10-year-old that we were, holy shit, is this Jeff Hardy's cousin? We gotta go. And so we went to our first PCW show because again we didn't know there was Aussie wrestling at all. But we went to this show. I think it was in Rowville, And yeah, we saw Jarrett Craven come out. Thought he was thinking he was Raven or something, and it was the coolest shit we'd ever seen. And here we are.
So following on from that then, what was the deciding factor where you took that step to get into the business, and when did you exactly decide you wanted to do it?
Well, literally, I think it wasn't long after I turned 18. I hit up PCW and they got me in for a tryout. That was 2014. So like, oh shit, 10 years ago. Oh fuck.
You're a veteran now, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Fucking
I'm a veteran. I've probably had under 100 matches. Who knows?
Don't get me started on 10-year vets. Anyway.
Yeah, no. But anyway, once I was 18, I did that. Met Tricky for the first time, and he showed me how it was done.
Hell yeah!
And look, it was simply like I did it because that's just what me and my friends did as kids. We always watched it. We fucked around in the backyard. Kind of grew out of it a little bit during high school, but like it didn't last very long. I think it was actually the moment when I realized I was old enough to go and train. I was like, oh yeah, no, I like wrestling again. Let's go. Okay. And and that's how that happened.
Heck yeah.
So kind of just going away from wrestling a little bit, can you tell us about your camera work? Where did you get the passion for filming and editing? And when did you start realizing that you wanted to do that?
So that's a very good question. Almost everything can relate back to the wrestling business, funnily enough. When we were kids, obviously, we'd be fucking around wrestling in the backyard, and we would film it with a webcam. That's all we had at the time, and we'd just film it, and think we were the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. And whether I realized I was doing it or not, I was editing the videos in Windows Movie Maker. And whether that'd just be making like little, like just putting music over it and all that sort of stuff. And essentially it came from that. Like I ended up doing like video editing a lot without even realize that's what I was doing, I guess. I thought I was just playing around on a computer. And when was it? I think it was around like when I went to PCW, anytime I got my hands on footage from my own matches, I would, make little edits of them. And then fast forward to APW, I noticed, and well, this is me going a bit shoot, but I think there wasn't much of a camera crew at the start for APW. It was very much just whatever we can get. And so I put my hand up to film. This is before I was wrestling again. I was like, yeah, no, fuck it. I know how to do it. I'll film, I'll edit, I'll put all that stuff together just because for fun. And then I essentially became in charge of all the production stuff for APW. And it was, I can't remember the year. It might have been like, it would have been just before we went into lockdown, actually. So 2020. I was like, shit, why don't I go actually get qualified for this stuff and learn how to do it properly? And yeah, then that's when I went to JMC Academy, and here we are. It all comes from wrestling at the end of the day.
My next question is probably going to go a little bit left field, but what's your favorite thing to shoot that isn't wrestling?
It depends, really. I actually haven't done a whole lot because I'm more of an editor. So usually people will give me their footage and I'll do it. But I've shot engagement and like weddings and stuff, cool. and live gigs. I love doing live music. I've only done a couple, but I'm hoping to do a lot more of that because like. I love music. Live music is awesome. Weddings is where the money's at, mind you.
We should have.
So I want to do more of that.
Yes.
Well, go back in time. But yeah, no, music, like the gigs, it's just a lot of fun. Because and you get to be a bit more creative when you're actually filming, and you get to enjoy the show as well.
Oh, that's cool. It'd be a good environment doing gigs and stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah, 100%.
What's your favorite style of editing that you do? For example, wrestling matches, promos, highlight videos.
I think personally, I prefer just like the full shows. It's a bit less on the creative side, but it gives me a chance to watch the full show, and I get to kind of study all the matches and analyze every little bit because I've got different camera angles to play with. So like if I'm doing a full show, it's just all multicam editing, and I just press play and I just switch camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, and all that sort of stuff. When it comes to editing like a promo or a hype reel or something like that, I've got to use my brain more, and I don't like using my brain that much. But when I'm like, if I get really hyper focused and I start cooking, it can be very fun. Like I like to think I've pumped out some bangers in the past, but that's only because like I've been sitting there going, oh fuck yeah, I've got this vision, I've just got to go. But if I don't have the vision and I'm just doing it because I have to do it, I hate it.
And I will say, there's been many a times where whether it's an entrance video or a promo or something that be like, oh, Marshall filmed that. I'm like, straight away, I'm like, oh my God, dude, I fucking love that. Like, I've had so many things sent to me that you've done, and I'm like, I love when all I've got to do is slap captions on, and it makes my job so much easier.
It's like editing stuff you've done, and he's like, that is so cool.
It's like, I ain't touching that shit.
Thank you.
I put the intro on and the outro on, but I ain't touching anything because this man it's a masterpiece.
Thank you.
I will say, though, this is kind of, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but a little bit of a cheeky thing is, because you get to edit these shows, you kind of get to almost get paid to scout your opponents, potentially.
True.
That just popped into my head as you were saying that. And I'm like, is this why he's taken like such an exception to all of these rookies? Like,
yeah.
If he's told them that he's done something wrong, he has 3 or 4 different angles to go on.
No comments.
Damn.
I like to think I'm a good person these days. I do no such thing. But I will say one thing that I use to my advantage. Once again, I like to bully EVO as much as I possibly can. If you go back and watch any APW show that he's on, he's got a different nickname every single time on his nameplate. I didn't give him a say in that. I just started fucking with him. And I don't think I've ever really said it publicly other than just telling him, like, hey, by the way, fuck you, this is your nickname. In fact, funnily enough, if you take a look at the APW Animosity poster, you'll notice his name is Extra Virgin Oil. That one, I can't take credit for that one, but that's just another example of... I'm
going to have to go back and have a look at that and see if I can spot it now, because, again, I'm legally blind, but...
This is giving me Hangman Page stuff. Every time they change his, I was like, yes.
So EVO's going to, like, fucking beat me down now, but we should do, like, a reverse Matt fact thing with EVO, where it's like, Matt loves this, or Matt hates this. You're like... It's like, EVO, birds are real. EVO loves mint chocolate ice cream.
So to be fair, that was his nickname once. I think I did write Birds Are Real. So like one show I did Birds Aren't Real, and then the next show I did Birds Are Real. And then he was the Rizzler one time. And the Extra Virgin Oil just came from, I'll put him over, Ben from Have a Nice Day Productions. He made the graphics for Animosity.
Shout out Have a Nice Day. You guys in Victoria are just pumping shit out. Honestly.
Yeah, look, we're just very lucky. We're all bloody JMC graduates or students or whatever. They've just been like, oh, we like wrestling. Let's do stuff.
But Before I go on to my next question, I have one sent in from an anonymous source, and it says, "Where's the footage?" Honestly, I think that's going to be the name of the episode.
Yeah, fair enough.
For those that obviously are listening to this because it's an audio-only podcast, he's currently shaking his head at me. But in all seriousness, Marshall, you've been working on a really cool project in talking about filming and stuff. You've been working on a short film that you've like directed and produced and starred in, and I think wrote. And obviously there is other people helping out, but the majority of the work does fall on your shoulders, from what I believe. So what can you tell us about Here Is Your Winner? Do we have any more insight onto when it'll be out, and can we possibly get some more insight for those that haven't listened to prior interviews that you've done?
Yeah, so I've got to say first up that it would seem like a lot of the work does fall on me, but I wrote and directed it.
Okay.
That's it. If it wasn't for the crew that I had, I would have been fucked. I don't think I would have been able to make it come to life like I have. There's too many people to name, but in particular, oh my God, I feel so bad. I for a second, I forgot his name. Keegan, my director of photography, if you ever listen to this, I'm so sorry. I love you. I miss you. Come back home. He was a huge part in making this come to life. This is my first time directing, and I didn't know how to bring things. I'm not the best at bringing things to life in front of the camera. I'm more of you tell me what it should look like and I can make it look like that, I guess. Or the other way around. No, I can explain what I want. I just don't know how to do it. And when I said to Keegan, this is the film, this is what I wanted to look like, help. And he went above and beyond to pretty much just, the way it looks is all him. In terms of where it's at the moment, it's currently, there is a version of it that is finished. It has been edited and it has been screened at JMC. Now, unfortunately, I personally wasn't happy with how the edit turned out. I don't know if it's because I'm an editor myself, and I was looking at, my editor did a solid job. But I think because I'm an editor myself, I looked at it and going, oh, hang on, no, I want to tweak this, I want to tweak that, I want to change this. And then I got too much nah, fuck it, I'm going to do the whole thing from scratch myself.
It makes sense, though, because it's a passion project. And it's your first time directing.
Essentially, yeah.
It's your baby.
That's exactly right. No, it really is. And like that, I had a very specific vision in mind, at least from the edit suite anyway. And the edit that I got, unfortunately, it just wasn't what I was after. So at the moment, it is still in the editing suite. I'm it's about 50%, 60% there. I kind of get to it when I can. So it is kind of on the back burner a bit. But whenever I've got a spare moment, I'm in there tweaking bits and pieces. What I need is just a good hyper focus, and it'll be done in 10 minutes. I just know that, but at the moment, that's where it's at. I want it to be perfect before the world sees it.
No, that's
I want it to be. I want to be able to release it and say, yes, this is exactly what I envisioned. This is the way it is. Fantastic. Let's go. But we'll get there eventually. I can't give you a definite 100% date, but what I will say is you'll know when it's coming because the first thing you'll see is the trailer. When there's a trailer for it, just know it's done and it's coming.
Okay. Fair enough. Can you just give us a little rundown of the synopsis? Because I did actually read it recently on IMDb. I probably should have put it in there, but I'm a professional.
No, Yeah, so essentially, look, it's the story of a young man who, grew up watching wrestling, always wanted to be a world champion. And yeah, so he joins a local wrestling promotion. And look, at the end of the day, it's almost like my story mixed with a lot of other people. Like I draw a lot of inspiration from, like, the story elements in it. I draw a lot of inspiration from Jason Crash. More so, the struggles that the main character goes through. Like, I've known Crash for a long time, and I know he's had his fair share of struggles in the business, as we all have. But I remember when I was writing it, he was one of the main people I was thinking of. He actually has a cheeky cameo in the film as well.
Oh, excellent!
Which was
Nice.
very good to have. But yeah, a lot of it, yeah, comes from like personal experience of people I know in the industry. I'll even say, the antagonist in the film is inspired by, every douchebag piece of shit in the locker room you could possibly imagine, who like to cause drama and politics and all that sort of stuff. So I tried to make it as realistic as I could. Essentially, it's more for wrestlers. The movie itself the wrestlers will understand it, but I'm hoping that people who know nothing about the business will get a good insight of what it is like and what it can be like behind the scenes.
Honestly, from even just like the little bits and pieces that I have seen here and there that you've shared with me and that the DPC has shared with me, I feel like when it does eventually come out, I think you'll accomplish that. Like, it's like, obviously as a wrestler, I'm biased, but to me, like, I feel like it'll come across well. But when it does come out, obviously, I know DPC said he'll do it as well, but definitely hit us up and we'll do what we can to promote it. Maybe we can even do like a reaction Wrestling Wednesday to the trailer and
cool.
be like, whoa, this is a thing that's coming out. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
DPC,
Yeah, that'd
look
be sick. Hashtag DPC OnlyFans. Let's make it happen.
I'm shocked he didn't actually send a question and then it was like, when are you starting your OnlyFans? I was expecting it.
That's a bit further down.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was expecting when you said there was a question.
So, now James.
Oh, no,
Now, James, you actually took some time off for personal reasons. Now that you're back and we're quickly nearing the end of the year, what are your goals for 2025, whether that be wrestling related or otherwise?
You know what? I almost forgot I took that time off. I guess for 2025, at the moment, my goal straight up is to become the APW Tag Team Champions again with Blake Curtis. That's our goal. We've just started teaming together again, and I think it's about time that the Adrenaline Zone get a real taste of what Conflict Action can do. Not a fan of those Crow Bros at the moment, the current champions. They always cheat, and I think it's bullshit. And I think APW needs, fighting champions. But hopefully we can be those fighting champions in the new year. That's my goal for wrestling. Like, solely focused on the tag team championships. Otherwise, non-wrestling related, it'll be to get a new single out with my band.
Excellent.
That's been a bit pain in the ass to get done, but we're getting there.
Nice.
We will touch on that in just a moment, actually. But if you want to ask your next question, Nova.
So my next one is, like, we like to mark out a bit on CIC. So
For the marks, buy the T-shirt.
yeah. What is your favorite match of all time? Both that you've had personally and that you've seen. And when I say seen, it can be live pro wrestling, it can be on TV.
I can see the cogs turning. I wish this is where I wish it wasn't a video podcast, because you can literally see it. He's like, "Oh God,
Okay.
what is wrestling? I've never heard of this wrestling."
That's the one with the boxing and stuff. I think my favorite match of all time that I've seen, it's tough. There's two different ends of the spectrum for it. One is the first ever North American Championship match in NXT, the ladder match.
Oh, dude, yes. Hidden.
Nice.
That's almost a hidden gem at this
Yes.
point. It's been
It
about 8
really
years
is.
already.
Like
Holy shit.
that's genuinely one of the matches I show to someone if I want to get them into wrestling. I thought that was like, and this is, mind you, this is the from the technical and high flying side of things. The match was just perfect in my opinion, and I always go back to that.
I've shown
But
over that match. I don't
on
think
the
I've actually
other-
shown her that match.
I think you have.
Yeah, get onto it.
I
Incredible.
swear I've seen it.
I think it was Ricochet's first match in WWE actually.
I love the memes that came out of that match graphic. Not to derail this before you answer the second part of the question, where it was like, oh, this guy's been released, and it's like Ricochet's the only guy left, and then it's like, oh, the dreaded ladder match. He's no longer with the company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
5 stars from Dave Meltzer, by the way, for whatever the fuck that's worth.
Absolutely, and rightfully so. Rightfully so.
What about Kurt Angle? No.
Don't get me started. Continue, James.
Yeah. The other end of the spectrum has to be Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18.
Yes.
That
Very
was
popular answer.
like growing up. Yeah, growing up, The Rock was always my favorite. And seeing that match, mind you, at the time, this is when I wasn't clued into the business at all. Like, I'm looking at this going, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. Just the storytelling and the charisma from all of them. Like, you look at the match itself, they didn't do much. Like, there wasn't anything high risk in it. It was just stock standard storytelling and character. And that, if I can have a match like that, I can retire happy.
What makes me laugh about that is like, I think it was Deadlock, not to be confused with the actual promotion Deadlock Pro Wrestling, but Deadlock Wrestling, they're like a podcast. They did like a thing on this where the build-up is you've got The Rock locked in a car and Hulk Hogan driving the semi-trailer into the side of the car. So in, like, you know, in the realm of television, he's trying to murder this man. And then he walks out in Canada, and because they're so excited to see Hulk Hogan for the first time in 20 years in Canada, they're still cheering for him. Even though they've just seen the video package with this live murder, and the way that the crowd flipped and the way that they went with that was just... Honestly, it's brilliant, but it's so funny when you think of that one little spot of... He tried to commit murder on live television, and the fans are cheering for him.
Oh, wouldn't be the friggin' first time WWF has tried to murder someone. My gosh.
Oh my God. No, two very, very solid options. You know, both from the real, you know, high spot spectrum and from the sports entertainment brother spectrum, which I love both of them, honestly. Like, those are both 5-star matches in my book. And the fact that Rock and Hogan wasn't 5 stars, fuck you, Dave Meltzer.
Anyway. Yeah, no, Dave Meltzer doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm going to go on record and say Dave Meltzer hasn't got a fucking clue what he's talking about half the time. It's just whoever's bloody... I'm not going to actually say that. I don't want to get in trouble.
Whoever's giving him money.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with that one. Definitely money.
Money under the table.
Sure is something under the table, but I'll tell you what. Pardon my French.
I guess, as everyone says, it's the flavors of ice cream, whatever. It's just one man's opinion. But
yeah, that's exactly right.
How does this ladder match get 5 stars and then Rock and Hogan doesn't? But hey, whatever. Ask your next question, Nova, before me and Marshall just bury Dave Meltzer for half an hour.
I haven't heard what his favourite match of all time was that he's personally had.
Oh, right. We got derailed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yep. ADHD, am I right? Favorite match I've ever had there's a few in there that it's I'll be honest, it is very, very difficult for me to pick a number one favorite.
You can pick a couple. I'm not going to hold a gun to your head.
Okay. So first off, I've got to say my most recent match against Nova Nichols at Breakout 40, we had a no holds barred match. That was like end of an era, end of the 6-year story. Got my head caved in. It was fantastic, but it was a lot of fun. Nova's always fun to be in the ring with.
Nova's getting a little hardcore lately. She did the no holds barred with you, and fresh off the last man standing with extra virgin olive oil. She's I think she's starting to get deathmatch ready at this point if she keeps going. My God.
Oh God. I feel sorry for anyone who gets stuck in a deathmatch with her because she will kill someone.
Literal deathmatch.
Yeah. Nova versus Joel Bateman. Look it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would actually pay money for that, though.
Can we throw Vixen in there too? That's all I'm asking.
Nova versus Vixen. My God.
Oh.
We need to stop
We just need to see Nova Nichols versus Vixen full stop.
Oh,
yes, absolutely. But
yes.
continue with your answers, James. I'm sorry.
Sorry, yeah. Other than that as well, my match with Savannah Rowe, when was that? It was her debut, breakout something or other, I can't fucking remember. The crowd was, I just remember the crowd was fucking electric. I think, for me personally, that's one of the best I've ever performed in a match. And for her to be able to do what she did in her debut match, and mind you, I'm pretty sure we got match of the night as well. Unreal. I think that's the closest I've ever been to that Rock and Hogan moment. Like, just the energy in the audience or in the building in general was just unreal. Especially, in my opinion, for an local Aussie wrestling show. It was definitely.
In general, though, like even in Canberra here with us, like obviously we've only done 2 shows for Extreme Capital Wrestling, but both shows that we've done, Savannah, from the moment she's come out, she just has that. She just has a connection with the audience. It's just a natural thing, and you love to see it.
I've noticed everywhere she goes, the crowd loses their shit. Whether she's good or bad, it's like she knows how to connect. I'm trying. There was a third, and I'm just trying to toss it up again because like I could sit here and like name another 6 matches, and I'm not going to do that. So I just need to pick a third, and then I'm satisfied. Shit.
Under pressure, looking down on me.
Probably my match with Luke Resner, breakout 32, I think it was his. Also, again, his debut. He gave it to me. He hits hard. That's awesome. But again, the crowd. It's just that moment. Like the crowd was electric, and it felt like nothing life. And to be involved in that is fucking awesome. I will give an honourable mention to my match with John Sebastian. We had a no holds barred match, a breakout 30. First time I bled in the ring. That was cool.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's what I'm sure was supposed to be a really small question turned into 10 minutes of me rambling. But
no, that's what this spot's all about, man. Yeah. Ranting, reviewing, and marking out. That's our
right. That's why we don't hold a gun to your head. You can pick a couple. It's great.
Oh fuck yeah! Well, okay, so allow me to go through the list of every match I've ever done. Anyway, moving on.
So my next question is: who is your ultimate dream opponent, and what is your dream stipulation?
Oh my gosh! We talking dream as in
living, dead, anywhere.
We usually kind of do it as, hey, let's do kind of dream opponents, and then maybe a goal opponent at the same time. Like it's entirely open for interpretation. When I asked Dozer this, he was like, I'm not that much of a mark. I'm just going to talk about wrestlers I'd like to hang out with. And I'm like, I'll take it.
Okay. A dream match that could never happen is The Rock.
Okay.
Yes.
For obvious reasons. Like, I would love to I would get schooled, but I would love to have a promo battle with that man. I would get absolutely schooled, but oh my god, I'd give it a fair crack, and I would love to wrestle The Rock. But another one, I really, really want to wrestle Joe Hendry.
I knew that one was coming because I was just like, I've been saying this for years. I was like, he liked my tweet when I said it. I'm like, that's something, right? It's never going to happen, but he acknowledged me.
Just shoot your shot like you did with Angle.
That's literally how Joe Hendry got his match with Kurt Angle was, who's your dream opponent? Oh, fuck, maybe Kurt Angle. And then it's just like, someone in the UK was like, I'll book that. And Joe's like, what? Okay, let's fucking go.
If I ever have the political power, I will definitely book myself against Joe Hendry.
I feel you on that. I've said the same to other people.
I want that match so bad.
I'm like, I won't bitch and moan to get title opportunities, but if somehow, some way we get Joe Hendry and it's a perfect world where my health's like up to scratch, I'm like, I want in, and I want a song made about me. I want everything.
That's the thing. I'll write a song back against the motherfucker. Let's go.
Yes.
Yes.
Or do anything to fight Joe Hendry.
What about some more like Aussie related guys or local guys? Is there anyone on your radar that you haven't had the chance to lock horns with yet?
Chris Law.
Ooh. Stable.
Yep. Well, I mean, to me, it makes perfect sense. Like, he's the reason I got into Aussie wrestling. I need to throw down with him one day. And I hope it's soon. I don't know how much longer he's going to be wrestling for. He's been doing this for like 20 years, something like that. He's, the dude is I think he's 41 years old. He might be in the best shape of his life, but not everyone can be Ric Flair. So definitely Chris Law. I think, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, I will say, to his credit though, me and DPC on Reaction Wednesday, cheap plug, we did a Chris Law match, and like I swear, with every year that goes on, he gets in better and better shape and just gets better and better in the ring.
He does.
He's got some fucking Benjamin Button disease happening within the realm of
No,
wrestling.
you know what it is? He's a Saiyan. So every single time he gets hurt and injured, he comes back even stronger. I'm certain that's exactly why.
Super Saiyan!
It would explain why he still looks like he's in his 20s. So I did just think of another dream match that I need to definitely get myself in better shape for, but Kobe Reed.
Oh,
I want to wrestle Kobe. I want to wrestle Kobe so fucking bad, and I know he'd be down for it, but I need to get myself into a little bit of a better shape so I can give him a better match that he deserves. If he listens to this, he's going to tell me to shut the fuck up and let's go. But yeah, I want to wrestle Kobe one day. That'll be fucking fun.
I need to get him back on the pod because it was only like 2 years ago now, but the amount of stuff that has happened in that 2 years and like the whole reinvention of what he's doing and obviously he just won the APW title, so I need to talk to this young man, but I know he's very busy, and he actually did like a little parody just recently in one of his promos about everyone that was trying to book him just because he won the title. I'm like, no, I just want to talk about the whole journey, but obviously the title's just the icing on the cake. Exactly, yeah. That
I wish you guys could have been in the building when that happened. And I'm excited for you to see the replay when it comes out, which should be out real soon.
I cannot wait for that to drop on IWTV because that's one that I'm probably... Because a lot of the time when I watch Adrenaline, I'm just kind of watching by myself again while doing editing, and Nova will tune in here and there. But literally that whole card from top to bottom looks amazing, and we can't wait to watch. I mean, maybe we could do a review episode of that show.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Why not?
That'd be awesome. Like, I'm gonna like. Obviously, the results are out. Everyone knows what's happened. But I'm gonna say this one thing: the air that got sucked out of the room that night when Kobe pinned Crash was unreal. I remember sitting there, and when the 3 count happened, it was just the reaction was like, "Oh my god!" and then silent. I was like, "Oh god, shit! This is incredible. Shit just went down."
Without pulling the curtain back more than we always do on a fucking wrestling podcast, The transformation, though, when you look at where he started as KV and where he started as, like, you know, the big underdog and the fan favorite to, again, just the evolution, as I just alluded to before, of where he is now to where he's just this mega heel. That is a testament to him and the work that he has put in on a psychological standpoint. And obviously, it's Crash. Everyone loves Crash, but Kobe definitely put his strides in to get to the character that he's. I don't want to say character.
Yeah, 100%.
He had a chip on his shoulder, and honestly, maybe rightfully so. But it's absolutely night and day from where he started. From when I had him on the podcast last, it's just
That's exactly right. Yeah.
But before I derail this anymore, the second part of Nova's question was dream stipulation.
Yeah, dream stipulations.
It's a question we ask every episode.
Oh, shit.
For a second.
Cage match.
Cage match.
Nice.
I think that's currently number one.
Yeah.
In terms of this answer.
It's funny actually. Like, so there hasn't been a cage match in APW yet. I once said a very long time ago. I said one way or another, I want to be in the first cage match. It might not get. It may not get to happen, but there's still time.
Hear me out. Right. I don't have money or political sway. Kobe Reed. James Marshall, cage match.
Yeah.
There you go. It's there. It's in.
All right, Kobe, you're gonna put the fucking APW World Title on the line in a cage match, so that way CGS stay the fuck out. Let's do it.
Keep conflict acting at bay. Keep CGS at bay. Just.
Could you imagine
I'm
the
just gonna,
shit that Kobe would do though in a cage? Like, well,
I mean, he's already
so
done
keen
it.
for
He's
that.
already done it for Pit Fighter X with ICW No Holds Barred.
yes.
Obviously, this cage would be, in theory, a little bit higher with the ring and everything, but
Yes.
let's fucking go. Someone make this happen somehow.
Yeah, you know what? Who's the GM at the moment? Tomo. I don't even care. I'm not going to win. I don't want to win a number one contenders match. Just put me in there just so I can fight Kobe in a cage, please. Let's just do it.
Oh, yeah. But moving back away from wrestling, something you alluded to before, and I'm glad that I reached out because I actually forgot you were part of the band, and I don't know how, considering I literally I've messaged you like and jokingly said, "Oh fuck, when I get cleared, I want to use one of your songs like as a theme song because I love the shit that you do." But tell me a little bit about your band and how that all came to be and where you can be found and your next gig, and just basically before we get into the non-wrestling questions that we ended on and then the actual plugs, just plug your band and everything your band for, as long as you want to rant for.
Yeah.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah,
That's
so,
fine.
all right. So, fuck, I better order dinner then. My band is Sacred. The spelling is really dumb because we're edgy.
It's a V instead of an A. That's fine.
I actually genuinely can't. I think it was like a copyright reason as to why we did a V.
Yes.
I think because originally it was just a normal Sacred, but we thought, copyright. I think there's another Sacred out there, so let's just be Sacred. So yeah, that started I think 8 years ago. That's crazy to think it's been 8 years. So you got myself. Blake Curtis is the lead guitarist of that band. He does some growly vocals on there too. I'm not gonna. Do I go through and name the band? Are they important enough? I don't know.
I mean, look, this is entirely on your front. If you want to put yourself in hot water with the band, then I ain't taking any part of that.
I better name some people, otherwise he'll kick the shit out. And we got James Hare, our vocalist, who funnily enough, I only know him because of the band. We put out everyone else who's been in the band have been friends of mine, or we might have gone to school together, or know them from wrestling, which I'll get to that in a moment, because there's some surprising band members. We met him because we put out an ad. We needed a vocalist, and he showed up at my door, and here we are. I gotta say, I'm just gonna mention some of the names from the business that have been involved in that band. Do we recall Chase Williams? You remember that name?
It sounds familiar. I can't put a face to it, but I've heard the name.
He's a referee at the moment. He's done some in-ring work, but he's these days he's reffing. He was our bass player once upon a time. Do you remember the name Bailey PQ or Evan Perks?
No.
No, okay. He was our bass player too. He was the APW ring announcer for a while. He did most of the recordings you hear has him on them. I guess that's all. There's only two. But anyway, yeah, fuck, I don't know. I could ramble on and on. You're gonna. What was the question again?
It's just basically just tell us about the band. Like, you know, first of all, like, you know, why did you form? You basically kind of just covered that. Like, you just basically, you know, fucking around with people you knew, and then you needed a vocalist, and et cetera, et cetera.
I guess that's probably that's probably the best way to pull it.
But yeah, like, where'd the passion like for music come? When did you learn that you were musically inclined / learn to be musically inclined?
Okay, yeah, so that is a very good question. I've actually never been asked that. So my older brother used to be a drummer, and so growing up, he was in a couple of bands here and there. So I used to hear him and his band play, and that's kind of where I got the exposure to it. And then, funnily enough, I learned what Guitar Hero is. And that Guitar Hero is one of my favorite games of all time. And then I guess that kind of inspired me as well to really get into music. I started off as a drummer, you know, because of my brother. I was always like trying to do what he was doing. And then Blake Curtis got a guitar one day, and he taught me how to play guitar a little bit. And then I got my own guitar, and I just spent a lot of time learning shit. And then, yeah, we just started writing, and one thing led to another. Here we are.
Hell yeah. Do you have any upcoming gigs or anything that you guys can be seen at? Or?
Unfortunately, no. So we haven't played a gig since before COVID.
Okay.
COVID really fucked us over in the long run. We don't have our drummer anymore. Some shenanigans that went on there. I'm not going to bury him on here.
I mean, hey, if you know how to drum, like, hit up James Marshall.
I always wanted to learn, but I don't know how.
No, it's been very slow. We are back in the studio now. We do have a single that we are working on it's been ready to go for fucking ages, but we're finally getting the time to get into the studio and do it. It's just a matter of finding the time, I guess, because everyone's off doing their own things now. Like everyone's working. Everyone, like, we got me and Curtis with the wrestling and that sort of stuff. That takes up a lot of our time. It's a slow getting back into the groove of things, but there is something coming. There is material on its way. As far as gigs go, that's when we find a drummer problem. At the moment, we're just trying to focus on writing and recording and getting some more stuff out there.
Fair enough. And before we jump into the non-wrestling question, I actually had one sent in. I've put it as my non-wrestling question. We always try to have this as a fun fact for people, and we tailor them. I think Nova has one as well, but I'll do mine first. It was sent in by an anonymous source. I don't know who it was, but the email was like DPC for life or something. So I don't know what those initials mean, like, you know. But it basically says, "When are we getting that James Marshall's OnlyFans?"
What a funny story about that. I actually tried to make one.
Yes.
I have been trying, and I had every intention. There would be two types of content on this. One of them was going to be me dressed as a dad mowing the lawn and giving a night, like, I know the audience can't see, but
giving a big old thumbs up
and a smile. Yeah. It was just going to be all dad stuff, but unfortunately Darren Blaze Elliott stole that gimmick. The other one is going to be candid photos of DPC just randomly walking down the street.
just backstage or eating lunch. Or...
Yep. Anything that man's doing, I'm going to take a photo of it and put it on the James Marshall OnlyFans.
Just eating Slouvaki from the pipework markets.
He did promise me a souvlaki if I ever make it to an alpha show, so I'm going to hold him to it, and it's his shout.
Yeah, you like need to hurry up and get down here. I can
it's all these
pull some strings for you.
medical bills and trips and every 3 months is just... But we are, obviously won't go into too much detail, but we have kind of alluded to it, that we are aiming for a Melbourne trip at least once next year. We'd prefer to just have a holiday, but if we can squeeze some wrestling in amongst that, then that would just be icing on the cake. But would you like
I've got to ask, I did notice, obviously APW have just announced Bobby Fish is coming down. I've got to be honest, I noticed, I think one of you mentioned interested in attending that. Is that a thing that could happen?
Probably not, because I was trying to get down for All For One the night after, because I have people that have offered me a comms and stuff, but it was just more clicking interested just so that I can see.
I did it as well.
What's been like, what's going to be added, and so I can share it around and yada yada yada.
Here's me getting my
That
hopes
would have been
up.
cool. That would have been so cool.
There is an event that I can't announce yet because it hasn't been announced publicly, but there is an event on the 28th of February / 1st of March in Victoria that I'm hoping, if we can swing it, that could be it. But we've got a lot on in that month because we got my wife's 30th. Obviously my next appointment's December, but every 3 months, so that'll be early March as well. So it'll be the week after that wrestling show that when it is announced, and then we're doing World Series at the end of that month. So it all depends on everything, but yeah, we're trying really hard.
Yeah.
So I wanted to take Nova to Melbourne for her birthday so that she could go to the beach and then, get some proper food at the city because Wagga's trash, and get some decent coffee because the coffee in Sydney is fucking trash.
That sounds like Sydney.
I wish they could just transfer me to an eye hospital in Melbourne, to be honest.
So much better.
Obviously, it's a different state, and I'm obviously very grateful for everything my surgeons have done, but Melbourne is a lot easier to get to. Would you like to ask him the proper non-wrestling question, Nova, before we get into the plugs?
All right. So, real question. We've actually stumped a couple of people on this one. But since you're into filming things editing things, what is your favorite guilty pleasure movie? And alternatively, what is your most hated film of all time?
Oh, fuck.
I knew the first bit was probably going to be like, and then we just added that extra bit at the end just to
stump
him even more.
I don't know if I've got necessarily a guilty pleasure film. Like, I like what I like, and I'm not usually ashamed of it, I guess. So that's I don't know. That one's a really hard one. Okay, I'm stumped.
I believe that's the third person who stumped on that question. Excellent.
God damn, yeah, no. I'm even trying to think of like a movie I hate, but I don't know. I got no fucking idea.
What about, is there a movie or show that you love that a lot of people hate / dislike?
Stealing someone's gimmick there, bro.
Oh, yeah. Well, what do you find cool that nobody else does? I just realised that was not intentional. Fuck.
Incredible.
Oh, fuck, now I'm going to owe him money. No, because I know, for example, like, there's shows that I watch that, like, Nova, I'm lucky that, not to be sexist, but for a woman, she has very good humour, but there is a lot of shows that I watch that are very guy humour-based, and, like, she'll just kind of look at it and go, ugh, and just shake her head and walk off. But there's, like, for example, there's one that I know that you love and I love as well, and Nova won't watch it with me because she said it looks too weird, and that's Sausage Party, and I'm very excited for the fucking TV series.
I've never actually watched the first, the movie, and I'm like, I don't know.
So excited
I'm on
to
the
sit down and
fence.
finally watch the fucking show now that it's out. But,
what a great film.
like, for example, like The Room. I've met people that like The Room unironically, and I'm just like, look, again, flavours of ice cream, but it just makes me shake my head and wonder.
Yeah, I just thought of then. I know a movie that I really... This movie actually fits both categories.
Okay.
It's definitely a guilty pleasure, but I also think it's one of the worst movies on the planet. But I can still watch it and enjoy it, but I also hate it. It's so silly. Grown Ups 2.
Oof. Okay.
Oh, okay.
My reason for that, I think the first one was really well written, very funny. The second one was just piss poor, lazy, garbage jokes that it just felt like they were trying so hard to be funny. And I think it's terrible, but I also enjoy it because it's so terrible.
See, I've actually had this same conversation, and Nova's there as well, with Nick Maltino, because he prefers the second one over the first one. And again, Flavors of Ice Cream, where I'm like, I watched it in the cinemas, and I was like, okay, it was pretty good because I watched it in cinemas. And then watching it again, like, you know, we every now and then we'll go with ADHD, we'll hyper-focus on stuff. So it's like, hey, let's just go through like every Sandler movie that I own, and there's an entire fucking shelf of them over there, right? The good old DVDs. And it's just like, oh, yeah, you know, da-da-da. And then you watch them back to back, and then I'm like, I really liked this when I first watched it. But watching them one after another, I'm like, that was so shit, but at the same time, the cast is very enjoyable.
I think that's what happened with me as well. Like the first time I watched it, yeah, I liked it the first time because fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin's in it, and I thought that stuff was hilarious. But then when I watched it again after watching the first one, I was like, "Brother,
I heard you in the Kmart saying you were gonna beat my ass." Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. But as we start to kind of unwind here, James, where can we find you on social media, at shows? Do you have any merch? When's the next Twitch stream? Fucking titty sprinkles. I don't even know when this episode's dropping. It's going to drop in a week or two from now. Either the first week or second week of November, because we have so much in the can right now, which is not a bad problem to have.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you can find me Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitch. I've got a YouTube channel, but that's more like, I don't even know. I think I forgot all my old guitar covers are on there. It's all at James F. and Marshall, I think.
You know what you need? You need a link.
Do the follows. Yeah, something like that. Next Twitch stream is when I can be bothered.
I feel
I'm the worst. I'm the worst because I'll get the thing set up and I'll do a stream. Like, oh, that was really fun. I can't wait to do the next one, and then I'm like, I just want to sit back and relax and play the game.
I pumped out like 10 in like 3 weeks, and now I'm like, fuck, I haven't done one now in like 3 weeks. So
legit. You can find me as well. You can find me at Adrenaline Pro Wrestling. You can find me at MXW sometimes. You used to be able to find me at Alpha, but not so much anymore. That's pretty much just those two you'll find me. Although I do have a few cheeky little things that haven't been announced yet that I'm not going to share. But you will find me. I'll be popping up in some other places.
I will just say this, like, Extreme Capital Wrestling, now that this is on air, as your lead play-by-play announcer and your ring announcer here, Nova Lee, please book this man. that's all I'm saying.
You know what?
What?
You know what? I'm just going to do this right now while we're on air. Extreme Capital Wrestling, right? I know there's a fella there named Jackson Thornhill. I've had my eyes on him ever since I wrestled him such a long time ago.
I'm just trying to do the math.
5
years ago?
6 years.
Yeah, it'd probably be about 5.
Closing in on 6.
Yeah, it'd be 5 to 6.
Oh my God, that's insane. But no, that kid gave me a good fight, and I want a rematch. Like, I whooped his ass, but I want to go again because I'd like to think. I've heard he's grown a fair bit since then. He was just a kid. I remember I chopped the living shit out of him. Ever since then, I've wanted a one-on-one rematch.
In fairness, James, that was a triple threat, and I believe that was, like, I've talked to Jackson, and he did like a little stint under a mask, but that was his first proper match as himself. I think that's when he was Kid Loco or Loco Kid Jackson Thornhill before he, when he was meant to be teaming with Zuzu before that all fell through, but you technically had his first match with him with his face and everything else.
That's right. Yeah.
Fucking decapitated him.
No, actually, I decapitated Sam Driver.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you hit Thornhill with the F5, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. So whether it happens at APW or ECW, I want Jackson Thornhill one-on-one.
I'm going to clip this whole
happen.
thing and tag Jackson Thornhill in this.
That's fine. Let's
go. Let's
Thornhill,
go.
I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out right now, brother. Let's go. One-on-one. I don't care where it is.
I will say, James, it's a bit hard to get footage at the moment because we're just waiting for ICW to kind of get on that and release some of the recent footage. But Jackson Thornhill's current tag team partner, who is my other rookie protege, Zach Stryker, would give you one hell of a fight as well. He's a bit of a flippy-dippy dude at times, but got a lot of heart, a lot of fighting spirit, loves to kick people in the face, as does Jackson.
Well, I mean, you say tag team. Is it their tag team, are they?
Conflict Axiom versus Rogue. I'll remain unbiased on commentary, I promise.
The BRB calling Blake Curtis.
Just forever fantasy.
Instead of call Roman Reigns, call Blake Curtis.
Just forever fantasy booking stuff on the pod. Yeah. I have zero political pull in any company that I'm a part of, but if I can put it out in the universe and I can shoot my shot and be like, hey, what do you want to say? Maybe someone will take it and run with it. And I don't know.
Hopefully, if anyone out there wants to book James Marshall versus Jackson Thornhill, I'll be there. And I'll even wear bells.
Do you have anything else you'd like to ask, James?
No, I think we've literally covered it, yeah.
I will say, James, this is just a random side note. And as I said, it's the recording conversation, Bob. We've only got a little bit over an hour. It's not that bad. I don't want to keep you too long because you got things to do. I'm assuming, but I don't have a PS5. Hashtag cries in PS4. Have you played Sparking Zero yet?
Bro, that's all I've been playing. Oh my god, it is the best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever played. It is perfect. It's very hard, but it's fucking good.
I'm just going through, my algorithm is just teasing me at this point. It just keeps giving me all these reels on Facebook. But I didn't go to bed until 7 a.m. this morning. The sun was up and then I was up again at 10 a.m. for whatever fucking reason. I spent about 2 hours, I shit you not, just watching reels and playthrough videos and clips of Sparking Zero.
And then you literally said to me, when I get the PS5, you're playing this with me.
Yeah, there was a reel, and it's like, hey, girlfriends, you're going to lose your man. The only way to not lose your man is learn to play. And I was just like, hey, at real name here, you're going to play this with me whether you like it or not when I eventually get a PS5.
That's a fair shout.
I do have my birthday coming up, so I'm hoping my goal for this year, obviously, I can't work or anything, and playing video games is redundant because it hurts my fucking eyeballs, but shapes and colours, my goal for this year is to combine my birthday and Christmas money, and hopefully finally get a PS5, and that's going to be one of the very first things that I get. And then
fuck yeah, that's good. That's good.
But,
yeah, no, I can't wait for you to be able to play it. It's so good.
How did you go with Grade 8 Vegeta? Because I've seen a lot of this was why it started.
Easy,
all the memes and everything. And I was watching one of my favorite Twitch streamers, Grim Graves, and he hadn't got to it by that point. And he's like, I'm dreading it because everyone's saying it's hard. But then I'm reading the comment section, and people are like, "Lol, first try."
Yeah, honestly, I didn't have any trouble with him at all. I thought it was really easy. What is difficult is, okay, I won't spoil anything, but there is a certain fight where you've got to fight every member of the Ginyu Force one after the other. It's fucked. I haven't even reached fucking Ginyu yet. I'm dead by the time Jace comes around. It is so fucked, and I can't do it, and I'm so mad about it.
I've just been poor Nova. She doesn't mind a bit of anime here and there, but she was never really into Dragon Ball that much. And literally all week since this game come out, even though I haven't played it, as I said, I'm just sending her all these things, and she's like, I don't know what's happening. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
I know little bits.
I'm like, I have to tell someone. And poor EVO, he's
Oh,
another
man,
one. EVO's getting all the reels and memes and stuff that I'm finding.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I will say the game has like fully like got me back into it again. Like I've always loved Dragon Ball. Like I've got posters in the other room. But like it made me sit down and watch stuff again. Like I'm currently watching Dragon Ball Z Kai for the first time. And fucking, what is it? I think it's Super Dragon Ball Heroes or something like that. Fan service one.
I still haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen anything past.
No, not the movie. There's like it was like a web series or something. They do like full like Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it is fucking cool. Like I think it was Japan only because it was like a promotional thing. But it's like full non-canon fan service, weird ass stuff, and it's badass.
Fuck yes. But with that being said, before we rant any longer, I just had to ask you that before I forgot. I could have asked you off air, but again, ADHD, I would have forgotten, and I would have been like, oh no, I'd forgotten.
That's okay.
But is there anything else you'd like to plug, James Marshall, before we let you go from this conversation? I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I was really dreading it, honestly. As I said, like I was kind of tongue in cheek, but I said it to you before we even started recording, and I said it again when we did start, that I had like all of these things, and then you did the friggin' 2 or 3 part episode with, it was like a 3-hour conversation, and I think it was an hour and a half each with DPC, with the 2 episodes, and I was just like, fuck, man, like you stole my thunder, DPC, but we actually still got quite a bit out of this that we didn't hear in the DPC conversation.
I'm glad
about that. But no, I appreciate you coming on, and definitely I think we'll wrap it up by saying when Here Is Your Winner is ready to go, / even the trailer is ready to go, hit us up, shoot the shit, do our plugs, brother, and yeah, hopefully.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you.
But yeah, with that being said, I'll say thank you again. Thank you. I say thank you way too many times, but I'm just grateful for people's times. Like, you know, if they spend 10 minutes talking
thank
to
you.
me,
I like any chance I can to talk shit.
But no, in all seriousness, I cannot wait to see you again, whether that be down in the ACT, whether I do make a trip to Victoria or anything in between. But no, just thanks for jumping on. I wish you nothing but the best with your band and your career and everything, and enjoy playing Dragon Ball. I'm going to be sitting here being very jealous.
He'll just be here. Butt hurt.
That's the next Twitch stream. Is he'll just be killing it, and then he'll like be shit because he's on stream.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I haven't streamed it yet. Although, who knows? I've got time. Maybe I will.
Well, thank you very much, man. You enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, mate.
See ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was James Marshall. And I do apologise if, as I said, the sound was a little bit iffy in the intro, because listening back to that as I was editing this was actually a lot louder than the actual conversation with the full-blown professional, air quotes on audio podcast, but yeah, way louder than the professional audio. So hopefully once I condense this all together, it's not super bad. But when I did the for the crowd, my levels went through the roof, and I was listening with my earphones, and it actually hurt a little bit. So if you are listening to this back and it does hurt, my bad. So yeah, that's my bad. I think I'm just because I'm overcompensating. I'm trying to
because we're like, shitty mics, let's deflect.
And I'm trying to kind of let it out a bit harder because of my throat. But project. That's the word, not deflect.
Yeah,
project.
I was like, hang on, wait,
deflect. I said deflect. You said deflect. We all say deflect. I don't know, this has just gone off the rails already.
Buy
but
the t-shirt, just kidding, there's not one yet.
Hashtag what are words. It's a good little segue because Nova said buy the t-shirt. But no, I really enjoyed this conversation with James Marshall, Nova. It was very fun.
Definitely was, yes.
And I do give kudos to you, Nova, because again, I did have this teed up quite a long time ago with James Marshall, and it just fell through.
Buddy.
And this was one of about 5 or 6 conversations that you teed up while I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm. I was like, you sleep, I'll work, honey.
Nova woke up extra early one morning. I woke up and I had all these notifications because again I've made you Nova an admin of the Facebook page and the Instagram page. I had all these Instagram notifications, and yeah, Nova had teed up 6 conversations. Hence why we're able to do double headers for the entire month of October, and obviously I did a few here and there, and this is going out the first weekend, I believe. What is it, the 3rd? Sunday the 3rd of November?
That sounds correct to me.
Friday the 1st for Patreon.
Ooh,
as low as
$5 dues.
And obviously, if you're listening to this on a Sunday, it's past that. But as always, all of our episodes for the lowest tier of $5 Australian, $3 US, you get early access on our tier, and on all our tiers. Of course, we have the $10 tier, which is the $5 tier is the Rogue tier, $10 the Essential, $15 is the Real Main Event, and $20 Nova
is the Supernova tier.
The Supernova tier. But yeah, it's all there. So for future episodes, if you're listening to this after the fact, go do that if you want them. $5. It's not that much. And I mean, maybe it is because we're broke, but that's why we need you to do $5. But no, it's all there. We really enjoyed this conversation. All of James Marshall's links will be in the description. All of our links in the link tree with the Amazon wish list and the pro wrestling tees and hell, the GoFundMe, speaking of money. But it's all there. But no, this is a great conversation, and I think definitely we're coming out of this conversation, Nova, Adrenaline Pro Wrestling Friday, November 8th. I wish more places would run shows on Fridays. Fridays is such a great night for wrestling, if you ask me. But Friday, November 8th for Breakout 49 Adrenaline Pro. That's one of their, like, I don't even want to say, like, it's one of their in-house shows is the best way to put it, because I don't want to say it's one of their lower tier shows or anything like that, because it's still great
still the
content,
same amazing quality.
but they almost, with all their trainees and the training school, a lot more of the rookies do get spots on the breakout shows as opposed to the quote-unquote main shows. But yeah, Friday, November 8th is Breakout 49, and then Adrenaline Pro Wrestling Legacy, Saturday, November 29th. Actually, I think it's a Friday as well. Friday, November 29th. What is math? My apologies. Friday, November 29th, we have Adrenaline Pro Wrestling Legacy. Again, all one take. We have Adam Brooks versus Jason Crash. Bruh! I wish I could make this show. And then also, his opponent still hasn't been announced as of this recording, but Bobby Fish will be in action. Very, very excited to find out who that is. And then speaking of Bobby Fish, the next night, on Saturday, November 30th, that's where I was getting the Saturday from, Bobby Fish will be competing in the main event of MXW All For One against Richie fucking Taylor.
Richie fucking
Oh my God. And again, I cannot wait to watch that back. And of course, they've got the Rumble, All For One Rumble, where the winner for that will get a shot at the MXW Heavyweight Championship when MXW rolls back to Geelong on February 28th/March 1st. They haven't announced which of the 2 days. I'm assuming it'd be the second day because it's like the big main event fight feel, but you don't want to assume things, make an ass out of you and me. But no, this is everything that's coming up. And then November 1st, 2025. It's 1 year away. As we're recording this, it's Halloween. It's October 31st. So in 1 year and 1 day, Emma Butler Memorial Show 3, or I guess what will technically be Western Warfare 7 by that point, but the third Emma Butler Memorial Show. Tickets are already on sale. 11 tickets have already sold. I'm pretty sure some of that's my family and friends, but that's okay. They still paid their money. But the link to that will be in the description. Absolutely. And unfortunately, this is usually where we plug ECW.
Yes, I was going to say, can we go back in time to this year, to November 23rd?
Yes, so that's why I glossed over that. Unfortunately, the show has been postponed.
So if you haven't seen the news, it's been postponed.
It's on the ECW Facebook. They will be announcing a date soon for early 2025. Nova's a little bit deflated because she was really looking forward to, but if we can swing funds and whatnot, when we have Clash in the Capital for ICW on December 7th, which is still a thing, but tickets aren't on sale upon doing this thing, Nova might be doing ring announcing for that just to get it out of her system. It's a big show, but lots of stuff lined up. We got Tank and Benny Whiplash, who were tied at 2-2 in their series. They're going to, regardless, there's going to be a winner. Tank just challenged Benny actually to a last man standing match, so be interesting to see whether or not Benny accepts that. But we got that. We got titles on the line.
I wish we had that cashola. I'd be like, bam, let's hit up Melbourne.
Yes, if only. But we're guaranteed new tag team champions that night as well. After Dozer's retired, the tag team titles have been vacated. Metal Militia no longer the champions. But yeah, that's for another day. We don't have the link for that. But just keep an eye out for that regardless. But yeah, ECW has been postponed. But all the other stuff that Ed has mentioned, we're all over the place here. We're totally professional. Everything is there in the links.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Nova, would you like to reintroduce or recall or... I don't even know what word I'm looking for. The song and match of the week.
Okay. Recap. The song and match of the week.
Jesus Christ.
For episode 134, we have What You've Sown by Sacred. James Marshall's band. Go check it out on Instagram. Anyway, back to the match of the week. Adam Cole versus EC3 versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet for an NXT Northern American Championship match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans 2018, and that is the first NXT Northern American match for that title.
And it was a 6-person ladder match that, as we mentioned in the intro, got 5 stars from Uncle Dave for whatever the fuck that's worth. But no, banger of a match. Honestly, if I was to give it a rating, I'd probably...
Can I just say, though, what about Kurt Angle?
I was trying to avoid that, hence why I just glossed over it in the intro, but Nova just thrives on chaos. She likes...
I do.
You just like yanking my chain, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
And speaking of yanking your chain, make sure you subscribe to James Marshall's Only. Use the hashtag James Marshall Only.
And speaking of yanking your chain, you should definitely check out that match between Tank and Benny at ICW Emma Butler Memorial number 2.
Yes, keep an eye out for that.
Cool.
It will be being edited and going on to the ICW Australia YouTube channel, and that is going to be edited by Suplex Studios. Woo! By the way,
yes!
That's a cheap little plug. They're actually looking for new clients currently, so if you've got some cash and
check them out.
Not to steal James Marshall's thunder, because obviously he does all the editing and stuff for Adrenaline Pro, but he does Suplex Studios, does DVDs and documentaries and just about anything in between regarding footage. So there's a cheap plug for you. Where's the footage, Marshall? Where's the footage? But no, hit up Marshall, hit up Suplex Studios, hit up someone. But
hit up everyone.
But Suplex Studios will be editing the Emma Butler Memorial Show from this past weekend as we record this intro and outro. It'll be last weekend by the time this episode goes out. But no, that was a hard-hitting match. Benny actually got choked out by Tank, spoiler alert, but they did post the results. There was a slight little mishap in the results where I think one of the winners was incorrectly announced. But hey, I on commentary incorrectly announced the winner of one of the matches. So
the ref just called it as it was. That's all I saw. So
yeah, I made a little botch on commentary, and then Johnny the Joker made a little botch in one of his announcers, and they were both matches that involved Chris Stevens as well. So sorry, C Factor.
It's just people didn't like him, you know. Just picking on him.
Go back and listen to that conversation with C Factor, though. We actually did really enjoy that conversation. We joke, you know, we love the C Factor here at the CIC pod, but we're here for the bands. Here for the bands. But I believe I've done all the plugs, Nova. I honestly, this has been all over the place. I'm sorry, James Marshall. I've got a sinus infection with getting ready to pack to leave in a couple of days for Canberra, and it's just a shoot.
And we just got home like 5 minutes ago. We're just on the road again.
I was home 2 days out of 7, and I was travelling for 30 hours in the entire week, and about 24 or 25 of them was public transport alone. So,
and I was right there with you.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I still feel dead, and it's been days since I got home. But yeah, I'm sorry, James. But yeah, all the links: MXW, Adrenaline Pro, ICW. Even though it's a year away, but it's there. The James Marshall, use the hashtag. No, but James's Twitch, his Instagram, his X, his everything is there.
All the social medias.
I didn't end up putting his YouTube in there because he did use his shoot name and the username. Yes. But if you go and search for it hard enough, I'm sure you'll find it. Yeah. He actually posts a bunch of guitar covers, and I watched one last night. He did a rock cover of the OG Thomas the Tank Engine theme song.
What? I'm gonna have to go check this out.
You were sleeping when I watched it. No,
watch some random stuff.
It was 2 a.m,
okay.
if not a little bit, maybe a bit earlier. Could have even been later. But I commented on it for James, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. But no, yeah, just go check out James. Go check out all the tickets. I don't want this to go any longer. This has probably been one of the longest outros we've done in a while. I'm sorry.
All I was going to say is, like, I just work at this circus. I don't run the show, okay? Like, I just work here.
It's my favourite catchphrase lately is, I don't know, man. I just work here. But yeah, subscribe to James Marshall's stuff.
OnlyFans.
I'm being serious now. Go follow him on all his
media.
socials. Follow us on the socials. And yeah, just... I am the essential Jonelle Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee. To
You
the
guys-
sprinkles and shakalaka-lakas.
You guys have just been caught.
In conversation. Shakalaka-laka.
Subscribe to James Marshall's OnlyFans.